Okay, welcome back to the next session of Creating Art Over 70 with Cyan Rufus. We're going to continue on the Playas Gato Maya painting um, to refine some more of the detail in the overall piece now. I kind of got, I've kind of gotten the concept of the floor arrangement I wanted in my head. And so we're going to continue on with the finer refining some of the details, in Maya, maybe down here into the flowers that are on the ground area, maybe some of that. We'll see how it goes. But we're going to focus. We're going to start our focus on Maya right now, trying to get more of her details in, and then we'll move on from there. And I'm still contemplating on how I'm going to handle like the light coming in. I'm thinking I may have the light come in from this direction across, so we can have light illuminating the faces, so that would be brighter, and some of the shoulders here that's facing the light, and then use a lot of the shadowing here to really emphasize some more of the form of both cats, and some more of the shadowing in this area also to do the same thing, and of course back in here be shadow, so the hopefully the flowers will pop out more to like they're in front of everything as opposed to laying on the top of everything. Okay, so that's enough said. Let's get started. Yes, you notice that as we move along and we start to refine more and more of the detail and the form starts to show, then we should be able to move forward with how we decide on handling the lighting, the shadowing, those type of things. So, just layer and walk our way through the process here. Then hopefully on the other side we get the desired result. Yes. My pencils, my pencils I had ordered finally came in, which is pretty cool. So like, I'm not dead pressed to be stuck to trying to just handle the colors like I can really be as I use as much as I care. I care to now. I don't have to try to limit myself with respect to how I sample and how I taste. Where it is I'm laying down the form. And if you notice when I'm sorry, some parts of this you may have missed. I had the pause on to take care of some things, and didn't didn't resume. I'm still fighting with technical stuff because just want to enjoy getting in here and just painting sometimes. So. Some days you just feel like just like painting. It's a very, very strange day today. Well, not strange. It's kind of it's one of those days where you when you expecting it to be a certain way and it turns out to be different. Not only different, but pretty much the opposite of what you were anticipating. It's like it's very cool today, and real heavy marine layer. So, so we're gonna go hit some tennis balls today. I decided it was really kind of cold out there today. And plus, I've been thinking about this piece a lot, and I was kind of want to work on it to get it to conclusion. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a slight break, get something to eat, relax a little bit. I'm trying to get a little further into this piece for this particular session than I am. So I'll be back, continue with this particular session. But right now, just take a little break, sit back, and concentrate a little bit more on this. So I'm starting, if you notice here, I'm starting to just start to incorporate some of the shadowing. So I think I'm going to be using shadowing going and light coming in this direction and just giving me some shadowing here. Some of this is just natural shadowing, but I think I'm going to carry it on out because it's not a whole lot I need to do. Just a lot, some in this area, some in this area here, flows through here, shadowing upper here, through here just a little bit of shadowing with glasses shadowing there, and just a little bit on the other side. That's about the gist of it. Behind the necks, of course, and behind the shoulder blades of each of them, some of the tucked in areas, type of thing. And that's about it. So those are the things we're going to be working on a little bit later, continuing on in this particular session. Just taking a break to get something to eat. Creating art over 70, sign Rufus, painting with a passion. See you in a little bit. Okay, welcome back. Yeah, I know that was a longer break than I thought. I was going to stop to get something to eat, but I ate twice since then, so just took a little break in the middle. So anyway, let's continue on with this piece. I'm going to continue to try to work a little bit of this. I'm struggling with it a little bit. I can't get it to do what I was thinking I could get it to do, so I'm going to try something just a little bit different and see if I can make it to work. And then I'm going to move on into this area a little bit to bring in some of the shadowing and things like that. Okay, so let's just get started. That's the beauty of painting. Sometimes you just have to follow what you feel, and I enjoy that because that's exactly what I try to do is follow what I feel. So reach. One thing about painting for me is really work my patience a little stronger. I always thought I have lots of patience, but sometimes things arise and it just seems like you don't have the patience you thought you had, and so when you sit down to do a painting piece, it's just like that. It's like, okay. It's like, okay, let me see how much patience you have, because, well, I think a lot of it is really with my style. I paint real loose, and I don't have, when I go into the piece, I don't have, okay, this is exactly what it's going to look like, or this is going to work. A lot of it's still a learning process for me, and And so, it's a lot of trial and error. So, as you watch me paint here, you'll see that um, looks like I was going in a certain direction with something, and then um, I change it. And the reason is I just wasn't wasn't feeling the direction that it was going. And so if I don't feel the direction that it's going, I got to change it. And so that's is what I do. That's why it seems like I change, especially if I feel like I'm struggling with a little bit to capture a certain look and feel. Um, I'll step back, I'll look at it, and I'll go, well, I'm trying to capture a certain look and feel, however, it's not working. And the reality is, you just can't really push things sometimes, to get them to do where to get them to go into a direction you think you want them to flow. Sometimes it just you just have to change, and then once you make that change, that adjustment, it seems to come together a lot smoother and easier, and then you're a little happier with what you get, the results that you get. And it's all layering and layering and layering, because when I start off with the piece, I don't see the end result. So I just keep layering and layering and layering until a close resemblance of what it is trying to capture appears. Just layering, adding colors, adding feel. Sometimes it just takes just sit back for a minute and take a really good look at it, and then things just seem to work out. Just seem to happen, just like that. It's really nice. And me, I just keep plugging away, sculpting, scraping out until it reaches something that I'm really trying to, something that looks relatively well to me. I change, I play with different ranges of colors, go back and forth, and until this it adheres to where it is I'm trying to go, or it's just it's not gonna work. I need to try something else, and then I do exactly that. think you'll learn as you go on your journey is that you see things different and different approaches, and then as I work, I see, oh, I could have laid something in a different order, or to make it a tad bit easier. If I find it, I find that is really easier when you following close to a reference. In this case here, where I'm kind of just building the composition, building the piece out, um, is different. Where I have to really see it in my mind, or when I'm laying it down. When I'm laying it down, you really have to see where you're going with it as you go, because it's going to work or it's not going to work for you. And what I know with respect to this piece, I'm going to, without a doubt, run into what's going to happen with my darkest darks. Especially when I start to land in the shadows, I want to try to keep to the darkest range of colors that I have in this particular mask, without trying to bring in a darker color. I may have to, and if I have to, that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. In order for this to work, I see that's going to have to happen. Because I want to bring in, the shadowing. I don't want to use the darkest components of the fur. So I'm going to be trying a few things here and there to see if they work. So hang in there with me on my journey. Okay, I'm gonna pause for. No. Yeah, on occasionally I'll be doing pausing just to sit back and take a look at it, where it's going, make sure. Okay, I think I'm gonna call that a session for today. Um, I did quite a bit. I just kind of felt like painting and thinking through the process as I went along. So I wasn't talking a lot in this particular one, so I just hope you enjoyed the background music during the painting process. But what I really wanted to do was really try to solidify the floral look here, and I think I've gotten it to where I really wanted to get it to. And also in this session, I was working on starting to bring in the shadows of the forms, the shadows that are hitting the forms of the cats in the ground and throughout here. And I wanted to work on that a little bit. So I have decided to have the light coming from left to right. And so I'm going to be implementing that concept left to right. So I started to building in the shadow to the left. So that's where most of the shadows will reside on the pieces is to the left. And so I started putting that in. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And I like the way that the flowers are really starting to look like they're just kind of in the foreground away from this little clump of flowers right here is away from the cats. I'm I'm gonna when I finish getting the shadowing laid in, then I'll come back and start to lay in these last little flower buds. I'm gonna leave these alone. I kind of like the way they came out, but these these five here I gotta lay in some more of the buds, and so I'll work on that detail. But I really want to get more of the shadowing in, and then start to bring in the lighting. Also, probably before I get to that. Um, and there's some other things I want to work out in Maya's face also, and Playas's. So, a lot to look forward to, still a lot to do, but we're going to stop this session right here and continue in the next session. Thank you so much for watching Creating Art Over 70 by Science Rufus, Painting with a Passion. See you in the next session. Thank you so much again. Blessings.